Hey, what time does the movie start?
Randy Miller and Michael Seward on randymillerradio.com.
People say the blues is just a good man feeling bad. I don't know about you, that's not the kind of blues I have. I'm a bad man.
Whose hand is that?
I'm feeling good.
Hey, that's not a pillow.
Yes, I'm a bad, bad
These credits ever going to end?
Is everybody delirious? Is everybody in Kansas City delirious? It's so nice. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to be hated. I love it. Oh, Michael, this is the best time of the year, isn't it?
It is. It's a good hate to win. It's a good hate.
It is a good, strong hatred that the Kansas City Chiefs have right now, and we are just embracing it at randymillerradio.com. In fact, embracing it so much that we are down here at Union Station, where they have transformed this place into just a celebration of the Kansas City Chiefs and the AFC Championship. I mean, this is so fun. They got and we'll show you around. Yeah. But I mean, it's got all these kind of displays, all these great selfie places, and just a celebration of things that no other city can have.
They can't. And I got to tell you what, I think they have their own storage room now because this just keeps popping up every year.
It keeps popping up.
Is that silly?
These are regular displays. People come in here. I mean, it is just fantastic. And we are so happy that this time we've got the reason that the Kansas City Chiefs have been winning.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Nate Herron, who is the PA announcer for the Chiefs, I think only since they've been winning. It's a little coincidence. We'll see.
Run it back, throw it back, back to back, back to back to back.
Back to back to back to back. And we're going to find out from Nate what the deal is coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I'm not Jim Nance, but I'm not going to do it the way Jim Nance did it for you the other day. Hello, friends. That was so cool. So Nate Herron is here. So Nate, you got to understand, Nate and I have worked together for so many years. He is the executive producer of the other show, the good show I do, called National Defense Network. And he is also the reason that the Kansas City Chiefs are winning. And Nate, welcome to Union Station, our studio among studios.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. A lot of good events have happened to me here at Union Station, mostly since the Chiefs have started winning. So,
well, I mean, but that is kind of true, though. I mean, you started before the Chiefs started winning their Super Bowls.
We were doing okay before I showed up, but
Sure.
I started in the middle of the 2021 season, kind of a throwback of COVID and people being spread apart, not knowing how things were going to go.
Right.
And but my first full season was 2022. We won a Super Bowl. 2023, we won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
2024, undefeated at home for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on.
You got some rings for that, too,
Well,
don't you?
you told me to bring them.
Yeah.
I brought a little hardware here. I
Couple
got
of
the Super Bowl
big
57. It has the Eagles on the inside of it. who
Right.
We defeated. Super Bowl 58 has the 49ers.
Right.
Defeated them as well.
Wouldn't it be nice to have another Eagles ring?
I wouldn't. I mean, I don't. Honestly, I'd take another ring if it had the Rockford Peaches as the contestant.
That is so cool, though. So when you wear those out, honestly, I mean, and I know you wear. Oh no! Oh no! Here's Rebecca from Sunnybrook Farms.
What is it?
With the
What is
fake
it?
rings?
Actually, can you hold this?
Yeah,
please?
yeah.
I'm not done yet.
Be click, 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 click.
Really?
Oh my gosh!
It's amazing things that you can mail order these days.
You really can. Temu is amazing, but it doesn't come on Temu. That group of muggers that's just off camera right now.
That's right.
They're ready to go. They're hot to trot.
Listen, eBay's a wonderful thing, but when you first started with the Chiefs, I mean, I know you were excited. They were excited to have you, but I mean, nobody expected this kind of, excellence, right?
From me or
Yeah,
from the
from
team?
you.
Oh, absolutely not. No, they're still shocked on a weekly basis that I can string a sentence together.
The fact that Jim Nance threw it to you before the national anthem, I mean, that's
Can I? Would you mind if I
You got
indulge
that?
me and let us throw it to Jim right now?
absolutely, Jim.
All right, Tone. And now, let's go to the Chiefs in-stadium announcer, Nate Herron.
And now, Please rise if able and remove your hats for tonight's national anthem, performed by retired Navy Petty Officer First Class General Wilson.
Oh wow! And that guy,
amazing.
I gotta tell you, that guy is great.
What's funny is he actually was performing the national anthem through his cell phone at the game, so it was pretty
So it all works out. How many times has he done the national anthem?
I don't know. I know every AFC Championship game he's performed it. He performed earlier this season for the Ravens home opener. So if we've got a big game, you know, there's a lot of luck.
You
that
call
goes
him the big
involved.
guns.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. You get your retired Navy petty officer to come over from. He lives near St. Louis.
Oh, does he
He
really?
loves the Chiefs, and he's
So he
a
doesn't
gospel
have
singer.
He doesn't
you know.
have a team of his own.
The Chiefs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
He'll tell you that the Chiefs are his team. But
It's so cool though, and he does such a great job. And just to have that kind of record going
Yes.
into, like your record. I mean, that's the Chiefs don't want to mess with anything right now.
I mean, I grow this derelict beard every single playoffs, and much to the chagrin of my wife, although she's kind of into it now.
kinda
She's like,
get
all
used to
right,
it."
fine.
Yeah.
You can do that. I mean, I usually make a habit of eating at Joe's the day
I
after.
was going to say, do you have any kind of?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
So many. Eating at Joe's the day after a home win,
Right.
which so my triglycerides are a little higher than they normally would be,
Right.
but it's a price worth paying for that. I wear
You
the
gotta
same
take one for the
clothes.
team, man. I mean-
So I grew up, and you know this. I rooted for the Pittsburgh Steelers
Right.
pretty much my entire childhood and early adulthood. And when I auditioned for the Chiefs, I had a Steelers T-shirt on underneath my polo shirt. And on days when the Steelers are playing the same day as the Chiefs, I usually always wear a Steelers T-shirt under a polo.
Yeah.
Well, now I have this Jerome Bettis, Lynn Dawson combo going on. Two guys who never played against each other.
That's pretty good.
But you know, Lynn did some broadcasts when Lynn was.
Can we just hear the safety announcement, please?
Oh gosh, which one?
I don't know.
There's like a new one that every team in the NFL has to do this like 4-minute safety cover your own butt sort of announcement of,
Right.
you know, the spread
Right.
of COVID-19 and other viruses is not, you know, that sort of thing.
Right.
Every time I walk by, and they start playing it about 30 minutes before the gates open, and it runs the entire game
Yeah.
until everyone's out.
You got to be
not
covered.
just Chiefs games.
You can't be too cautious.
Jayhawk football was playing. Every time I go by there, I'm like, I'm sorry. The poor security people, and they're like, what? And occasionally, I'm like, you're the one.
You're right.
I'm like, hey,
Oh, you're the safety guy.
yeah. So what's also funny is Mitch Holtis, the radio voice of the Chiefs. He's recorded our safety evacuation video, which we've been playing for a long, long time.
Right.
Got the little flying arrowheads going down the turnstiles, and the league changed the rules to where we now have to do it in each half. So we do it in pregame.
Oh, boy.
We do it in the second half,
Well-
and I had to take Mitch's 2.5-minute long video and condense it down micro machine style to like, you know, I just the announcement was just like, run. That was just it. So
Get out.
yeah. So
But now that's the other thing that we need to let people know if they don't know. You're not only the voice of the Chiefs, but you're also the PA guy for many other teams around here.
yeah, we've got the Rally House here at the Union Station. I can see half the teams I work for just currently on sale. We got
Yeah.
the Kansas City Current, who are about to start their second season at CPKC Stadium
Right.
over down on the river.
Right.
It's just a play-by-play on the Current. Give it a couple players.
Hey, that would be, yeah, come
Well,
on.
you know, I'll tell you this: the Current. There's 3 players in Kansas City who I'm excited to see play. It's Patrick Mahomes is number 1.
Yep.
Number 2 for me, it doesn't hurt that I work for the team, but Timwa Chawinga, our forward, who she's been on the team for 1 season, got the Golden Boot, and which means she scored more goals than anybody else. Like
Yep.
she broke
Sure.
the scoring record. She scored against every other team in the league. You got Patrick Mahomes, Timwa Chawinga, and Bobby Witt Jr. When those 3
yeah.
people are either touching the ball or involved in a play, everyone like leans forward. You know, my wife said,
Sure.
"No, they're bleep players. Like if
Yeah.
they're ready to go, here we go."
If I have to tell my wife one more time in the haircut commercial with Patrick Mahomes and Bobby Wood Jr., every time she goes, "Who's the other guy?" I've told you, honey, it's Bobby Wood Jr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I mean, that's a pretty good threesome right there.
yes.
So what would it sound like at the Current?
So, do you want like a goal? Because
Yeah.
in outdoor
Absolutely.
soccer, you don't do a lot of play-by-play. It's just substitutions,
Right,
cards,
sure.
and goals.
Yeah.
But it's just goal. Go!
Pretty good.
Kansas City Current.
Pretty good right there.
But usually about 5 times longer than that, which I got to be honest, just between us girls, I hate doing that long cold call thing. But I do
you
it.
got
But
to.
I do it with the Comets. I do it with any other teams that I'm doing soccer for. We even did it with the National Women's Soccer League Championship, which was hosted here in Kansas City.
All right, you got
back in
to
November.
tell the story because you got a couple of young boys, and I know you were out there with them one time when I think it was hockey, right?
Yeah.
And a little girl came up to you, and they had told their friend that this guy is he's worked for the Chiefs. He does the calls for the Chiefs. And she said, "No, you don't."
Yeah. Zoe wasn't buying it.
Yeah.
They were at hockey practice in the locker room, and Simon, our youngest, was like, "Well, Dad's the announcer at Arrowhead." It's like, "No, he's not." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." She even had my ring in her hand. I'm like, because who doesn't bring their Super Bowl ring to attend their hockey youth hockey practice? Yeah. And she's like, "Say we're at the stadium." I said, "Welcome to GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium," and her eyes got like saucer big. She's like, "Okay, you're the announcer.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy." And the other story I want you to tell is the time that you went as a grown man by yourself to Worlds of Fun.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
My wife took my darling children on a Disney cruise.
Because you hear about that all the time.
You do, of the father staying behind. Now,
Right.
in my defense, I was working the American Association of Baseball's All-Star Game that same week, but I also can get diarrhea at home just fine. I don't need to pay $10,000 to go on a cruise ship.
Sure.
So I didn't go, but I've been wanting to ride the Zambezi Zinger at Worlds of Fun, the new released Zambezi Zinger.
Not the new one. No.
Well,
no.
Let me tell you, it ain't the old one.
Is that right?
No.
There's no clickety clack.
Oh, there's a clickety clack, mostly of your vertebrae trying to readjust
Then
itself.
I did write it then.
Oh.
I remember it was so clickety clack. When you
old-
get off and you're going, oh my.
The old Zambezi Zinger, you didn't have seatbelts. There weren't seatbelts on it.
And you
set
off. There's a chiropractor that hands you a card.
You set pilot bombardier, not pilot co-pilot.
Right.
And you would go, and it had the little spiral that went up, and then you went through the ride, had a tunnel. It was great. One of my favorite memories with my dad is riding that ride when we would travel up the 3 hours from Heston, Kansas to Worlds of Fun. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ride the Zambezi Zinger. I'm just going to go by myself. I'm going to go straight there. I'm going to get on the ride, and I'm going to leave. And because I was meeting you.
Like the middle of the day.
It was. We get on there, and I proceed to go through. I don't think they put NASA astronauts through the amount of G-force training. At one point, your ears are like clipping grass that is on the side, and it is intense. And I'm not as small as I was a long time ago, and we got stuck at the very end. I was stuck with my legs cramping.
Like the ride stopped.
The ride stopped about 80 feet short of where you would get off.
Yeah. Have you heard this story? Oh, this is good.
Oh, my gosh. So I'm sitting there stuck. I'm supposed to meet him for dinner. We were getting together, and I needed to have photographic evidence. So I just take my phone out.
I mean, you're stuck on the Zambezi Zinger. You want some evidence
so,
off
here
that.
We go.
Right, yeah.
And this snot-nosed girl in the back row goes, "I didn't say you could take my picture." And I just, at this point, I had one leg completely cramping because I'm not in shape at all. And the other one, I could feel it starting to fire up. Like I was about to go double barrel on the leg cramps. And I just said, like,
You know you didn't have a leg cramp. You're trying to get a shot with that girl behind you.
no, not this one. No, nuh-uh.
But now it doesn't stop, right? I mean,
I say, if I was taking a picture of you, you'd know it. And she just proceeded to
It's on.
just cuss and complain and the entire time. And finally, we get off the ride, and she's still, and I'm like, what is your issue? And the one mother who's with this coven of teenage girls, I almost said witches, but either one will learn. And I'm just like, why don't you corral your snot-nosed brats? And she just, hey, you.
Oh, my gosh.
I was not having it.
My God.
And I walked right out.
They were at Worlds of Fun.
Yeah, it wasn't Worlds of...
Well, I mean,
you don't have my permission to take my photo.
Right. Well, because you see a lot of guys by themselves in the middle of the day.
In khakis and a polo shirt.
Danger. Come on.
Getting ready to... I'm just here for the Zambezi Zinger. And a turkey leg.
The mama's about ready to strike.
And a quick selfie. A quick selfie, and I'm done.
Just with the top of that girl's head from about 14 feet behind me. I'm like, boy.
You know what, though? I mean, that just kind of it says a lot about where we are, right? Doesn't it? I mean, seriously. Oh, my God.
A better story is about these 2 rings with my kids.
Oh, yeah.
My wife goes out of town when this first ring comes in. We get it just a couple of days before we're playing the Browns preseason of the 2023 season. And my wife's out of town on work, and I get it in the mail from Jostens. They do a great job on all our rings. Not Joslin's, Jostens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I go to Jostens.
Okay. I tell the boys, hey, we're gonna go out and celebrate. You guys pick out a restaurant to go to, and we'll go eat. And my oldest said, "Can it be a fancy restaurant?" I'm like, "Yeah." How often am I going to get a Super Bowl ring? This is probably the only one I'm ever going to get.
Super Bowl ring. Let's go somewhere.
So
you're going to Sizzler.
Well, you're skipping ahead here.
That's right.
So they pick out this nice little Michelin star restaurant in Olathe. You may not have heard of, called Golden Corral. Is where they.
Close.
You were very close. We went to Golden Corral, and we were in the middle of the third course, which I think was like mashed potatoes and gummy bears or something. And my oldest, who was a 4th grader, looks at his 2nd grade younger brother and says, "You know, the Chiefs need to win another Super Bowl, so we each have a ring when Dad's dead." And I'm like, I am sitting right here. I'm in my early 40s. What the hell?
It's like right out of Three Amigos. Can we have your watch when you are dead?
Yes, right. Well, you know what, though? That's very similar to the last time I got fired from Q104. I was out with my daughter, Maddie, and somebody walks up to us and looks at me and says, "Are you Randy Miller?" And Maddie, who was about 12 at the time, says, "He used to be."
That's it. That's it.
So,
from the mouths of babes.
That's right. That's it.
What I might suggest is you have another plan for the real rings, and you could just leave your kids one of mine.
Yeah, that's right. You could hand those things out.
Yeah.
The amount of times I'm asked, "Are these real?"
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Well, they don't open. I'm like, well, okay, because those are like $50,000 a piece. It does have my name on it.
Yes,
it does have my
yeah.
name, and
Right.
and it's a real treat to be able to have them and show them off. It's like a shared experience sort of thing.
Is that like the underdog ring where you could just pop it open and get a pill out?
You can't do it this one. That's one of my
Superpowers.
Monarchs rings. I think we've got. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, that is the underdog ring right there.
I don't want to do it too hard. It might fall off.
Wish.com Lombardi Championship rings.
I mean, get a couple Cracker Jacks in that would.
They look nice from a distance, and frankly, that's all that really matters.
You know, that's the last time we were here, which was the last Super Bowl. Michael had this on, and a lady came up to him, and I mean, honestly, I thought she was going to assault you. I mean, who did you say you were? Or no, I say you were somebody.
I might have been on the practice squad or something.
It was somebody like that.
Yeah, you did. That might have been it.
It was somebody like that. I said,
Christian,
I
the
said,
Nigerian Nightmare. You don't recognize me?
Yeah. And she goes, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is you."
Well, my wife is guilty of doing those. Shortly after, we dated for about a decade because people do that. And then when they date for a decade, they get Randy Miller to officiate their wedding. And I'm pretty sure that Greta and I have the record for the longest amount of time being married of someone that you've...
By about 10 years.
Okay, well, we've been about 12, so yeah. We are at a Sporting Kansas City game at halftime in the fancy seats in the restaurant, and I see her go up to this man and, like, grab him by the shoulder, and he turns around, and I could see, I'm 50 feet away. She, like, jumps and runs off. And I finally catch him, like, what was that all about? She's like, I thought that was you. I asked him for money for tacos. It was Deron Cherry.
It was Deron Cherry.
African-American, all-pro defensive back for the Kansas City Chiefs, Deron Cherry. So now I have an autographed picture of Deron Cherry that he signed to Greta that's in our base.
That's pretty good.
Okay. I kind of have a little faux pas if we're doing some of these Chiefs faux pas. Mine, I'm at the Reno Club with Lonnie McFadden with my family, watching this incredible show. And before the show, they're like, "We'd like you, all of you, to kind of keep it down and respect it for jazz."
Lonnie McFadden, incredible jazz guy,
tap dance, trumpet. He's Mr. Talent. Anyway, I'm there with my family celebrating my dad a big birthday. Well, this table beside us just kind of keeps erupting and talking loud and this and that throughout the night. And I tell the waitress, "Would you go over there and tell them to be quiet?" And then my sisters here they're not quiet. Then we're giving them the dirty looks. Finally, I can't hear Lonnie McFadden. these guys are in the back of the table now in a huddle, chatting it up. These guys, I've had it, guys. I'm going to be professional and polite, but I got to tell them this has got to end.
Right.
So I go over this huddle, I squeeze into it, I grab around one of them like this with its shoulder, and I'm squeezing. I'm like, listen, I'm here for a special birthday occasion with my dad, and all I can hear is you guys zip the yapper. And as I say that, I'm looking over, and I'm like, man, that guy looks familiar. Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden, Lonnie and his band start playing dun, 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 dun. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dante Hall in the house. I'm like, oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yes. Shut the yapper.
Yeah.
Oopsie daisies.
You
That's-
probably violated his contract by grabbing his
Yeah,
his
really.
scapula.
He was out for
Yeah.
3 weeks after that. Yeah, I think my only one is I was mistaken for Patty DiNardo one time, but that was years
you
ago,
know,
and I had different
it
hair.
happens, weird
but it's
lighting.
The lighting and all that kind of stuff. Well, we got on the floor here.
We got a 15 on the floor.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. This is awesome,
I mean,
man.
I feel like this is just routine now. You and I come down to Union Station.
It's getting old.
It's getting a little something.
I mean, you just you hate to change it up, but I mean, it's just so. Everything is the same. You win the thing, and
It's kind of like before. Used to be you'd see like Hobby Lobby, things start about Thanksgiving, things start
right,
changing for Christmas.
right. There's
Well,
no-
here
right.
before Valentine's Day, everything's red.
So what we've done
Yeah,
is
yeah.
we've extended the season. So now it starts in January and goes through December. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, it's sorry, rest of the country.
That's right. Oh, the hate is real around the rest of the country. Oh man.
What is the deal? Is Eric Stone Street actually a member of the Kansas City Chiefs?
At this point, so I saw him before the game
Well, I'm sure-
outside.
of course you did. I mean,
I saw his wife first, and she's darling. I like talking to her a lot, and,
Yeah,
and
I
Eric
bet you are.
has been really great to me. But he brought Michael Bublé along to the game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Bublé is a big Chiefs fan,
Really?
apparently, and
Chances are.
I don't know if he can sing the national anthem, and frankly, at this
Oh,
point,
yeah.
he can kick rocks. We got Generald.
Well,
We don't
that's
need
true.
Michael. He
Good
can do
point.
halftime.
That's a good
or,
point. Yeah.
do the other deal.
Yeah.
So so this season, last game.
So you had
Feeling good.
you had the bubbly before you had the bubbly.
And the bubbly, I wish I just stuck with the Bublé because we up in the control room, we wanted to celebrate,
Sure.
and when anyone says screw off the cap and let me smell it,
Yeah.
and they present the bottle to
I
you,
want
it's
that on
not
a
on a
t-shirt.
towel. It's on a paper towel. You get those sort of things, but
Right.
but the game before was on ESPN or KNBC, and Joe Buck introduced me in that one to toss it to the anthem. You
I
wouldn't
didn't
know because you were probably watching on KNBC 9,
Yeah.
whose board op ran a legal ID and then a station promo, and they missed half the damn anthem.
Oh.
So everyone on ESPN on a market,
I heard the entire anthem. So I don't know.
you just blocked out Joe Buck, and
I probably
okay.
Yeah, maybe I did. I just
Okay.
heard Jim Nance introduce you.
Well, it's Jim Nance is cool. Al Michaels, who I've always worshipped as a broadcaster, he introduced me not this season but last season.
Still working at 110.
Unfortunately, it was a moment of silence for Israel and Gaza. So that's a tough one to put in the
That's a-
reel.
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, Michael said my name, but it was a little different.
Let's just throw it to Nate now with a
Yeah.
moment of silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but you do such a great job with that, and I mean, that is not. I mean, that's a skill. That's an art. That's something that a lot of people could never pull off because you got to be excited about everything. You got to be in the moment. What is the toughest thing about your job as the PA guy for the Chiefs?
How early we have to get there before the game starts.
I can't,
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
And-
5 hours?
About 6. So
Wow.
I had to be there at about 11 o'clock in the morning last Sunday, and the game kicked at 5:30.
Wow.
But then part of that, when you've only got those 2 standalone games with network, is if you're the second game, the NFL and the rights holders have the right to shift your starting time around. We've got a stealth bomber coming in. We've got
Right.
there's so many moving parts, and it's one of the things that I appreciate so much about working with that team is Kristen, who I report to, our Brad, our producer, and Rob Alberino, who's a vice president with the Chiefs, but kind of takes a demotion on game days and runs our replay crew. They've got all these moving parts, and everyone just has to be on it.
Oh, yeah.
And ready to go.
Yeah.
And not fooling around. Case in point.
But you guys have done it every single week.
We have done it. There's some issues that'll pop up here and there, and you can't control it. The day before that, we had a Comets game, and we were playing a Mexican team. I had a JROTC group as the color guard. We had a school choir there to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and we were going to play the Himno Nacional Mexicano for the Mexican national anthem. We told everyone what was happening.
Oh my God!
I introducing the color guard for a Comets game, smaller crowd, just about as rowdy, and I don't even get the letter C out in ROTC, and the choir just starts singing. And I don't know how I'm like, no. And like at that point, the genie's out of the bottle. You've got to kind of pivot and go. And when you're doing live events, and you know what it's like with radio, you've got to roll with the punches. And a lot of times, we're pretty buttoned up with the Chiefs. Everything that we read has basically been approved by 3 or 4 different vice presidents. So I try not to go too far.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to say something about how once again Generald Wilson or something, because people know. It's Arrowhead. It's an AFC Championship game. It's a Patrick Mahomes Invitational.
But you would have gotten called on that?
Maybe. But I'm still very new over there. I'd like to stick around for a little while.
That's right. Well, and you know the things that amaze me about all of that. I mean, nobody knows what's behind the scenes. Nobody knows what you guys go through and how hard you prepare to do all of that. But it just seems like seamless. I mean, it just always. And I don't know if it's just the crew that the Chiefs have, because I've seen some other things too. But you guys just all work together so well.
We do. You know, one of the things is when things don't go right. How do you respond to it? And when you
if a goat runs out onto the field,
I think we
you
could.
Heard that happen?
You want to?
Kevin Harlan and the cat. Remember that running on the end zone?
Yeah,
on our show.
That's right.
Cat, and he did play-by-play.
Oh, baby, what a cat!
Yeah. And then the drunk. I'm calling both games, and all. You know.
That's right.
Yeah. Harlan ran into him in the elevator on Sunday. He was doing the radio broadcast, and
cool.
you know it's neat to see him come in. But it's just how you react to things not going how they were planned. You can sit there and cuss people up and down a tree, or you can turn the page and you can talk about it later, sort of thing. And if you got a stealth bomber coming, you don't have time to browbeat somebody.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, that has to be like to the second.
It is to the second, yeah. And we nailed it to the second. And sometimes when I'm sitting there, I've got the headphones on, and Brad, my director and producer, he'll be like, stretch, like while I've already started it. So instead of just saying, please, here to perform the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, written by Francis Scott Key on the bottom of a boat just outside Fort Sumter. As you can only say 2024 instead of 2024.
Right.
All right, guys, join me. Call now.
I mean, you could throw in a couple of Mike's Got This, or some. I mean,
they appreciate that. I've had some other teams I work for ask me to do reads at Arrowhead for their stuff.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
And
I'll just throw one of those in.
You guys need to talk to somebody else.
Yeah.
Higher up the food chain than
somebody called Dick Plumbing.
If they've got the Taylor Swift look-alike, they got a lot of cachet now.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Well, I mean, it's another magical season. It's another magical season. I suspect that you'll add another ring to your collection.
From your lips to God's ears.
Absolutely, and it's just been an incredible ride. It's just been an incredible ride, and I think part of it, for the Chiefs, is that they're not. They're just humble. I mean, they're very humble, and I think that's a big part of it. From Clark all the way down. I mean, it's just such a tremendous attitude that they have. That attitude of gratitude that still keeps coming around. Who knows what they say when they're not around.
Well, when your dad's name is on the trophy of the conference that you're playing for to win the trophy, and you've got that old AFL logo on the jersey, like it means so much. And
didn't they have the Heron Basketball Cup in Heston?
It wasn't basketball. We played disc golf, but that's a whole other story. You can't sell liquor on the course, and
Sure,
it was a whole thing with the Mennonites down
under
there.
12. Yeah.
But it's you look at the coaches they've had. They haven't all been the greatest. We've had some great coaches. We've had some that haven't been.
That's the thing that people don't understand. They don't remember. Especially newer fans.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you guys have always been great. No, we had that whole thing that we couldn't get to the playoffs, and we suffered through that. And so that's why it makes it so sweet now.
Mm-hmm.
This is just to have that, hey, this is new to us too, guys.
And part of it is you don't know how long this is going to last.
Right.
And I really made a concerted effort on Sunday to kind of just sit and smell the roses a little bit. Rob Alberino told a story to our whole production crew right before the game started, this game. And Rob's a Philly guy. He worked for the Eagles. And
is that right?
He worked for the Eagles, then he worked for the Chiefs. He left the Chiefs to open up Levi Stadium in San Francisco with the 49ers, and then came back to Kansas City. And he's like, I'm a Kansas City guy through and through now. But he was talking about early in his career, he worked at NFL Films, and he's an incredibly accomplished guy. When you're producing video for live events, you've got a preview monitor, and then next to it, generally speaking, somewhere around is your program monitor. What is happening now? What's being broadcast?
Right.
And at one point, this salty veteran with him was noticed that he was only watching the program monitor and not looking at the preview. And he's like, "What are you watching?" He's like, "On program." He's like, "Well, when you drive a car, do you look through the windshield or do you look through the rear view mirror?" And he's like, and we were quoting that during the game. Like things started to happen. The crowd started to tighten up a little in the third quarter because things were looking. I mean, that game couldn't have started any better.
No.
Right. Remigio has a huge return and bang, 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 we're going.
Yeah.
Buffalo comes out and has like a 10-minute drive to start the third quarter.
Right.
And part of our job with the technically our group is the 65 TPT, 65 Toss Power Trap Productions. That's the group, and part of our job is to lift the crowd up when they're down, calm them down when they're too rowdy, especially if we're on offense, which we had, that offense at work button we put into play. We got some very smart fans at Arrowhead, but even to Albert Einstein, after a certain amount of grain alcohol, you've got to put a sign that says, "Please quit twirling your mustache."
Well, I think it's a good thing to open up the gates, 19 hours early, just to kind of get the juices flowing.
I'll tell you this, I thought I was late on Sunday
I'll bet.
because they'd already opened the gates to the parking lot. Normally, I get in. At 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, they'd already opened the gates, and
the players had to walk through 5 tailgates.
Yeah.
When they got there, so it was crazy.
So, it's a good time.
No, it's great. It's all great. It's all great. Nate, you do a great job, man. Thank you
much. Thanks for having me. And
thanks for coming out. And thanks to Union Station for hosting us.
Yeah.
That was nice of a Union Station. I had no idea. We made one phone call. They said, we'll clear everybody out, except for the people taking the parking money, and let you guys in. So this is fantastic.
I'm going to go give that parking guy a kidney, and we should be in good shape.
Yeah.
Nate, you got to send us off with a little Randy Miller Radio, Chiefs Super Bowl,
Come on.
something epic. Send us off. Whatever you got.
Yeah, come on now. Here we go. Professional.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we enter Super Bowl 59, make sure to keep it tuned to Randy Miller Radio.
.com.
Nice. We got very lucky because we didn't know the Pythons were here tonight at Union Station. What's your name?
Wanda Winters.
Okay, Wanda. And what? Tell us all about the Pythons.
Well, the Pythons, we're going to be celebrating our 40th year anniversary next year. So we've been around for a long time. We've been to competitions. We've been out of town, and we're just an awesome group. I got a bunch of nice young people back there. So. And
aren't you really responsible for the Chiefs getting to the Super Bowl?
Yes, I am.
That's
Can't
what I
you
thought.
tell?
Absolutely. Hey, can they do a little something for us? Hey, ladies. All right. Nice job! Nice job!
How about those?
All right.
Chiefs?
The Pythons.
I tell you what, the Pythons about to strike.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Huh?
The Pythons and the Mamba and the Nate Herron. Watch out for him at Worlds of Fun.
Keep your arms and legs in.
Wow. Yeah, that's right.
Are you kidding me, buddy?
Look at this. Look at this Union Station. You got to come down here to. Hey, If you have not come down to Union Station, you got to look at this. This is fantastic. They've got the field. This is real size. They've got the display over here. This is incredible. They've got the game.
Grown men at a candy store, wouldn't you say?
I mean, absolutely. And it's so weird that I watched the game here. I just sat down here. I watched the entire game, and it was unbelievable.
You know, I just saw a little snippet with Kareem Hunt up here a minute ago.
Yeah.
And I saw a video on social media. He was the last guy to leave the stadium. It's so cool. His second chance, coming back on the field after he's dressed and just soaking it in.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
You got to. You got to, man.
D-Hop has been around the league the whole time and hasn't done anything till now.
And where's Tyreek Hill?
Man, Kansas City.
Got to go. Good
AFC
stuff.
champs.
RandyMillerRadio.com.
Oh my gosh!
I lost it.
That is the one.